This mutation is called Fright Night, and this is the special Halloween mutator, but I believe that this is a repeat, and it is not Halloween when this mutation aired. We have two mutators active. We have Trick or Treat, and we have Afraid of the Dark. So the way Trick or Treat works is civilians will start spawning from all enemy structures, and they'll make their way towards this candy bowl over here. And if there's candy in the bowl, which you can see over here, there's 10 candy over here, then they will basically take one candy out of the bowl and they will despawn. Now, if there are no pieces of candy in the bowl, then they will transmute into an enemy unit, which will start attacking you. The way this works is as the mission time progresses, the tier that the unit transmutes into gets higher. So a civilian will come in here during, say the first 2 minutes of the game. If there's no candy in the bowl, it'll turn into something like a Zergling or a Marine. But in, say, 20 minutes into the game, it'll turn into something like a Battlecruiser or even a Loki or a Hybrid Dominator. So you'll see over here now, this guy's gonna walk up to the bowl, and then one candy disappears from there, and it'll despawn. So commanders will have to pay minerals to be able to put candy into the bowl, but that is basically the goal of this mission. So very straightforward mission. Over here we can see that Abathur has already started to lure enemy units into the toxic nest, so he's going to go and try and build up some biomass. As long as you finish this mission quickly, it should not be too bad. So you can see here the candy bowl is being exhausted. Commanders like Abathur and Raynor are actually really good choices for this mutation, because Abathur doesn't really need. He's always mineral saturated. He doesn't really need any minerals in his build. He needs very little bit to get everything else up and running. But for the most part, he's not really short in minerals throughout the course of the game. And Raynor just has access to mules, so Raynor should also theoretically not be short on minerals, especially in the middle stages of the game. So Abathur, in general, when you're following Abathur's build, where you're trying to go and get your ultimate evolutions up, you naturally float minerals anyway. So Abathur can support Raynor in the early game, and once Raynor gets his 4 orbital CCs out, it's basically very straightforward, because Raynor can sustain Abathur in the middle stages of the game, where Abathur will be starting to build up his economy. But yeah, more or less all really good. The other mutator that is active, that I haven't talked about, is Afraid of the Dark, which means you will need to have your camera on an area if you want to have vision and if you want your enemy units to attack. So you can see over here there's a toxic nest that's been put down. Because this toxic nest provides a very small amount of vision, it is actually allowing Abathur's Brutalisk to deal damage to this Void Shard, so that is some 500 IQ play right there. He's just put down one toxic nest right next to this thing, just so that the Brutalist can start attacking this Void Shard while he goes ahead and continues to macro up. So you can see there is, at the moment, there is 4 candy into the bowl. It is getting a little bit short, so the commanders will probably have to try. Why is this guy not moving? That's weird. This guy's just like standing next to the candy bowl. I'm not really sure what happened over there. But yeah, there is 4 candy to the bowl. The commanders will have to try and hurry up. Raynor is floating a lot of minerals right now, so there we go. So what happened here is, that is really weird. Okay, so the other thing I should also talk about about this mutator is, if you try and decide, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna block the pathing for the civilians so they can't get to the candy bowl. They will try and get to the candy bowl, and if they can't, after a certain amount of time, they'll automatically transmutate into something else. So I have no idea why that happened. I think something happened with the pathing of the guy that was there, and he just stopped moving to the candy bowl, and it still triggered the same response. So they do have a timer. There is a certain amount of time. If they do not get to the candy bowl, they will get mad and they will transmutate. So that's the other thing to also note over here. There is 3 candy left in the bowl. It is getting a little bit dangerous. The other thing to also note is they're not marked on the minimap. The trickle is just consistent, so you have to pay attention to this bar, because you will not see when civilians actually get to the bowl. So it's always best to try and like fill the bowl up whenever you have resources to spare. So here Abathur and Raynor have done that. There's 1 candy into the bowl, and then there are 2 more guys there. and this might actually be a transmutation on this part. I'm not really going to pay attention too much to the shifting. I want to show you there. So there we go. So now it became a scout now, which is problematic here because there's no candy left in the bowl, and now the scout is going to start causing some problems for the commanders. But Abathur already has one Brutalist scout. One Brutalist is more than enough to be able to deal with this side. There is a Dark Templar, but now a scan comes down from Raynor, and scan is actually really good because scan counters Afraid of the Dark. So as long as the scan is available, these units will be able to attack without having, without forcing Abathur or Raynor to provide vision for these guys. So there we go. That scout is again causing a lot of problems, and there are still there's no candy in the bowl yet, which is again they are actually kind of pushing a little bit, but there we go. Raynor has put down some more candy into the bowl now, which is really good timing here because there are 4 more civilians that are making their way towards this bowl, and so you can see how quickly this bowl does get exhausted. But again, we have the Hyperion now that gets dropped to help Abathur with his push onto these sets of void shards. And I think for the most part this place has been cleared. I think the Dark Templars got cut out by the previous scan. They've been cleaned up by Abathur. And yeah, these 2 void shards will go down. And now I think it was Abathur just dumped in so much candy into the bowl. Now this bowl is basically filled up. And yeah, they will not have to worry about this bowl for quite a while. The other thing that's kind of cool that is a nice touch is that Blizzard has actually added a different kind of fill level for the bowl. So when you fill up the bowl completely, the bowl actually looks different to when the bowl is empty. But that's just a small touch. There's always little things that make or break a certain mutation. So there we go. So the void shards will activate in 6 minutes. So there's plenty of time for the commanders to go ahead and clean these 6 void shards. Unfortunately, Raynor is not looking. Raynor should be using a scan here to just allow his units to continue attacking. It's a little bit... Raynor hard counters the Afraid of the Dark Mutators so well. It's one of the best commanders to play against this if you do not have other nasty mutators that are added with this set. But there we go, there is a Dark Templar there that is attacking these Brutalists. Now there's detection. Dark Templar comes within range, and now Abathur is just going to go ahead and try and just pick up some of this biomass and get his 3 Leviathans out, so he'll be good to go. Candy Bowl status is at 34 out of 50. And now commanders are ready to go ahead and push into the next set of Void Shards. There's now an attack wave that'll be coming up, so unfortunately Raynor... Okay, Raynor is actually looking at the side, which is really good, but there... And now Sim comes down as well. There is a Banshee airstrike that gets dropped, that cleans out the Stalkers, but these Banshees are not very good at dealing with the air units because they do not have an anti-air attack damage. But Abathur goes in, takes out his assistant, and yeah, there's a question, do you know about the nests? Yes. So the nest should be put down over here, and... yeah, so there we go. So the issue over here is Raynor was constantly engaging the attack waves before they were running into the toxic nests. When you do that, what happens is when a unit is hit by a toxic nest, it drops 50% extra biomass. So very important if you are playing with an Abathur ally to make sure that you lure the units into the enemy into your allies' nests. Yeah, you're getting less kills off, and yes, it seems that you're not doing very much, but the amount of biomass that can be dropped can make or break an Abathur player. Especially in the early stages of the game, where he is trying to get as much biomass as possible to get his ultimate evolutions out. It's very important to do that. It's one of the things that I have noticed on the random queue as well. A lot of people do not. They try and go for the kills, but they're not thinking in the grand scheme of things, where allowing Abathur to power up is going to be very useful. So we have Raynor's army and Abathur's army both ready to go ahead, and now they will start pushing into the side. Raynor's army is still a little bit small. Structure-wise, Raynor has he has 3 orbital CCs, which is good. 4 barracks. He should be going up to a 4th one, especially at this point in the game. He should be having 4 orbital CCs at least. Yeah, the candy bowl is starting to get depleted, but this area is going to fall down to Abathur's army. Abathur is really strong. One of the queens does end up getting picked off, and it gets lifted up by the hybrid destroyer, but I think the queen will survive through the mends and the transfusions. And for the most part, this void shard area will be cleaned up. Now the candy bowl is back down to 6, and this guy is going to translate. I don't know why this is happening. I wonder if it's because of the biomass ball.
Bugs are attacking.
Because this thing is going to change now, and it's going to change into a higher tech unit, because we're at the 14-minute mark. So we should be expecting maybe a mid-tier unit that will be coming out from the civilian. I'm not really sure what it is, and there's another 4 guys coming. I'll try and zoom in on that civilian as soon as he transmutates into something else. But, yeah, that's actually kind of weird that it is happening there. So there's 2 more. Candy. This civilian will go ahead and take that last one. There's 1 more left onto the side here. Okay, that was the attack wave that had actually spawned. And now, yeah, so these ones are gonna go and pick up the candy. There was a last-minute dump of minerals into this candy bowl. This guy is glitched again, which means he's going to turn into an enemy unit. I can't remember what the timer is on that. Commanders are going to go ahead and engage this pirate ship over here. With dodge on Abathur's side, and the Yamato cannon from the Hyperion. And all is good. This one civilian is still glitched. I want to show you the higher tech unit that gets that turns into over here, but I think the commanders are going to go ahead and do the bonus objective now. I don't know if they have noticed that the civilian is bugged, because the SCV is going to come across now, and might actually get aggroed. Actually, oh, that was really lucky there. The civilian actually got bumped forward within range of the candy bowl, and he picked up the candy bowl, which is very, very lucky for those commanders there. But anyway, they're gonna go ahead and push into the this next pirate ship. Pirate ship creates this little stun ability. Abathur has no problem dodging that. Raynor's army is really, really small. There are a bunch of overlords here with Abathur, and those overlords have a very bad time. They all end up getting nuked by that pirate ship attack, and Raynor as well, also worse for wear because he ends up losing his army to that same charge attack. Pirate ship ended up doing a lot of damage, but now now Abathur's army is in position, and it's going to go ahead and pick off these Tempests. A few Mulisks do end up getting killed off by this attack wave. And there's a lot of juicy biomass. Very, very important to have your biomass focused on just a few Mulisks. That is going to be very, very important because it makes your Mulisk significantly stronger. So we have now 4 orbital CCs and 6 barracks. I think 1 extra barracks here. I think it's 1 barracks too much. But yeah, Abathur is going to start pushing into this side. And you can see here how quickly Abathur is just able to melt these armies here. It doesn't really matter what is there. Abathur's just pretty much got this. Gets in a few more, 2 more Mulisks. Just pick up extra biomass here as well. Just make sure that he's not, leaving biomass unpicked up in the course of this mission. And now Abathur is going to start pushing to this side. There's a man that goes off to provide a little bit of a constant heal. Raynor's army of how many Marines here? He has a total of 18 Marines. He's going to go ahead as well and help Abathur with this push. Abathur is completely carrying this mission, and he is going to be having no problems clearing out this enemy base as well. So you can see here lots of little toxic nests spread around the Rhine, just to see if there's a little bit of vision, because these toxic nests do actually help. They do provide a little bit of vision so you can see what's going on, and this gives you a little bit more time to react. And now finally we have a Raynor scan, which will allow Abathur to macro up if he needs to, but that scan is a little bit too late. Those scans were needed in the early stage of the game. Abathur doesn't really need to look anywhere else now. He is just completely steamrolling this base. And now we have a lot of barracks. Okay, so that is why Raynor added all those extra barracks here, is just to provide a few more Marines into the mix. But Abathur, like I said, does not need the assistance of his ally. He's pretty much got this down. We have a Banshee airstrike as well that has been called in to help. And Abathur's Mulisks are just completely straying this Void Shard, and this Void Shard will end up going down. And I believe that is the last Void Shard, and that is GG.